What do you understand by the name Bholi? Bholi, who do you call Bholi or Bhola? The person who is very simple, to whom you can deceive easily, who is not very clever. That person we generally call Bhola or Bholi. Is it clear? Now that this story is about a girl whose name actually it is nickname hai ye uska. It is not a real name, but people used to call her Bholi because of her simple nature, due to her simple nature. Now this story is about this girl who was very simple, who was not loved by anyone, who never went to school, who was neglected child, जिसको neglected by parents also. Now, later we will see this, what happens with that girl. She overcome all these, what do you call, obstacles in her life. Obstacle means she was unable to speak clearly. She used to stammer, haklati thi, and and the children used to make fun of her. Parents used to neglect her. But later her life changed due to her willpower, due to her courage, and due to her education. She was able to overcome all these hurdles, all these obstacles, and at last she becomes normal as other people. This story tells us about her journey from a simple girl called Bholi, who was neglected, to a girl who was respected by the other people. So it's a beautiful story, very simple one, written by K.A. Abbas. Now, K.A. Abbas, let's learn something about this author. थोड़ा author के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. Khwaja Ahmad Abbas, his full name, you can see. He was born on 7th June 1914. That time you can understand, India was not free. It was under the rule of British. He was born in 1914 at Panipat, Haryana, Punjab, British India. British India, that time India was under the British rule. And Panipat is a very famous place in the history of Maratha. Panipatचं युद्ध तुम्हाला माहिती आहे, between सदाशिवराव भाऊ and that Ahmad Shah Abdali. आपण म्हणतो मराठ्यांचं पानिपत झालं, मतलब we had lost that battle very badly. So that there he was born in 1914, and he died in 1987 at the age of 72. He died at Bombay, Maharashtra. What was his work? He was a film director, just I have told you, screenwriter, novelist, journalist, columnist, and he was very active during the year 1935 to 1987. Let's learn more about him. He is also known as K.A. Abbas, was an Indian film director, screenwriter, novelist, and journalist in the Urdu, Hindi, and English languages. He won 4 national film awards in India, national award, okay, and internationally his film won the Palme d'Or grand prize at the Cannes Film Festival. Cannes Film Festival is a very reputed one. To take entry or to get your film nominated to such event is one of the very prestigious thing for any film director. ऐसे जहां पर कांस फिल्म फेस्टिवल जो होता है हर साल, वहां पे उसके फिल्म को भी एंट्री मिली, नॉमिनेशन हुआ था, उसके लिए बड़ी चीज है, उसको वहां पे भी एक अवार्ड मिला है. And he also got the Crystal Globe at the Karlovy Vary International Film Festival. As a director and screenwriter, Khwaja Ahmad Abbas is considered one of the pioneers of Indian parallel or neo-realistic cinema. And as a screenwriter, he is also known for writing राज कपूर्स बेस्ट फिल्म. मैंने आपको बताया था राज कपूर की जितनी भी बेस्ट फिल्म्स है, he was the writer, story writer of his films. वो उसमें से एक जो 420 है, श्री 420, आपने गाना सुना होगा, प्यार हुआ एक बार हुआ, वो जो मस्त म्यूजिक वाला सॉन्ग है, अभी भी एवरग्रीन सॉन्ग है. That song is from that movie, Shri 420. So he is a very famous person, K.A. Abbas, and he has written this story, very simple story, Bholi. So are you ready to learn this, to know about the girl called Bholi? Shall we start now? हम start करेंगे, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can see the picture of a child or a baby. That the girl is, you can see this is a girl called Bholi, and you can see something has happened. That's why she's crying here. What had happened? She had fallen from the bed. Now here you will learn why actually she had become so dull. So why she had not become like a other girl. She was not a normal child. Some events had happened with her ड्यूरिंग हर चाइल्डहुड. कुछ चीजें ऐसी हुई थी बचपन में जो उस पर अफेक्ट हुई थी उसके ऊपर नॉर्मल चाइल्ड बनने के लिए. उसमें ऑब्स्टेकल्स आई थी, हर्डल्स आई थी. कौन सी चीजें? वी विल लर्न. सी नाउ हर नेम वाज सुलेखा. एक्चुअली हर रियल नेम वाज सुलेखा. But since her childhood, everyone had been calling her Bholi, the simpleton. And Bholi means simpleton. Simpleton means a simple person. Since her childhood, everyone was calling her Bholi. She was the fourth daughter of Nambardar Ramla. Now you see the Nambardar. Nambardar means the officer in the village who collects revenues for the government. आपने देखा होगा गांव में पाटिल होता है, देशमुख होता है, कुलकर्णी होते थे पुराने जमाने में जब ब्रिटिश रूल था, या फिर हमारे शासकों का, शिवाजी महाराज का, या फिर कोई भी जैसा उनका शासन था. तो गांव में एक पर्सन रहता था जिसका काम रहता था लोगों से टैक्स कलेक्ट करना, और वो कलेक्ट करा हुआ टैक्स टू डिपॉजिट विद द गवर्नमेंट. दैट पर्सन इज कॉल्ड नंबरदार. सो दैट पर्सन इज नेचुरली वेरी what you call a very influential person, very reputed person in the society, or rich also, or rais bhi rehta tha, nambardar. So she was the fourth daughter. It means that she had already three sisters. उसको 3 बहनें थी और वो she was the fourth daughter. मतलब 4 बहनें थी. When her father name was Ramlal. When she was 10 months old, she had fallen off the cot on her head, and perhaps it had damaged some part of her brain. Now you can see in the picture. When she was 10 months old, this sentence is very important. और एक चीज आपको रखना है, most of the time this lesson is very very important for the examination point of view, because every year the questions are asked on this lesson. So prepare this lesson well and listen very carefully. Now, when she was 10 months old, what had happened? She had fallen off the bed. Bed se niche गिर गई थी, and because of that, some part of brain was damaged. Some part of her brain, and that was why she remained a backward child, and it had a very bad effect on her brain memory. उसके memory पे ज़रा effect हुआ था, उसका damage किया था some part of her brain. So that's why she remained a backward child. Backward, she was not a normal child. Backward मतलब पिछड़ी हुई child. पिछड़ी इन किस चीजों से? उसके she was not as clever as other children, as other brothers and sisters. So she remained a backward child and came to be known as Bholi. And because of her that kind of nature, as she was not as clever as other children in the house, she was known as Bholi. उसको लोग भोली कहने लगे. And भोली का अर्थ होता है very simple, simpleton. At birth, the child was very fair and pretty. Now you see, when she was born, she was very good looking. She was very beautiful, and she was also fair. Fair means दो कलर होते हैं, dark और fair. So she was also very fair, very beautiful. But when she was 2 years old, जैसे कि बड़ी हो गई, 10 महीने के बाद गिर गई थी, लेकिन 2 साल की होने के बाद, what happened? She had an attack of smallpox. Now she was very unfortunate child. When she was 10 years old, she fell from the bed, and when she was 2 years old, she was suffering. She suffered from the disease called smallpox. आपको मालूम है smallpox क्या होता है? हम we call it in मराठी देवीचा रोग म्हणायचो आपण त्याला. Now it is not there. We got rid of this. Our whole country has got rid of this disease called smallpox. इससे हमें छुटकारा मिला है वैक्सीन के कारण. तो ये smallpox क्या होता है? तो ये देवी कहते हैं. उसके कारण क्या होता है? पूरी body, you will have the small your body, whole body will be disfigured because of you will have the spots on your body. आपके बॉडी पर स्मॉल डॉट्स आते हैं, उसको उसके कारण पूरा जो चेहरा होता है परमानेंटली डिसफिगर्ड हो जाता है, चेहरा नहीं, होल बॉडी. सो दैट डिसीज इज कॉल्ड स्मॉल पॉक्स. Okay, so she was attacked by the disease called smallpox when she was just 2 years old. Only the eyes were saved. Only her eyes were saved from this disease. And but the entire body was permanently disfigured. The whole body was permanently disfigured. Disfigured means disfigured का अर्थ होता है पूरी तरह से खराब हो गई उसकी. By deep black pock marks. Deep black कलर के marks आते हैं चेहरे पर और वो बड़े गड्ढे गिर जाते हैं बॉडी पर. So because of that smallpox disease. So there were black pock marks. So you have to remember these words, pock marks and smallpox. And she or OB, when she was 10 months old, she had fallen from the bed, and she had it had damaged her some brain, and that's why she remained backward. And then when she was just 2 years old, she had an attack of smallpox. Smallpox is that disease, and because of that smallpox, her whole body was permanently disfigured because there were deep black pock marks on her body. Only her eyes were saved. Little Sulekha could not speak till she was 5. Now another thing happened because of all these things. वो आपने देखा है कि she was her brain was not damaged. That's why what had happened. She was unable to speak. Like generally क्या होता है बच्चा 1 or 11 months में he starts speaking. But Sulekha could not speak till she was 5 years old. 5 साल तक नहीं बोल पा रही थी. And when at last she learned to speak, when at last she started speaking, she stammered. Stammered means speaking with halt. Speak with halt. Halt मतलब रुक रुक के बात करना, जिसको हम हकलाना कहते हैं, stammering कहते हैं. So this thing, all thing happened with little Sulekha. And the other children often made fun of her. And the other children, the children in the house, brothers and her siblings, jo the, brother and sister, and the children in the neighborhood, they used to make fun of her. Uska मजाक उड़ाते थे, and they used to mimic her. Mimic means to imitate her voice. Mimicry करना मतलब to imitate the voice. उसकी नकल मारते थे. As a result, she talked very little, and because of this, she remained very what you call lonely. She was living lonely, and she did not mingle with other people, other children. She did not mix with other children, and she used to talk very less. बहुत कम बात करती थी. This is what what had happened about with Bholi when she was a child. So this paragraph is very very important. इसमें आपको question 100% पूछा जाएगा. Why she remained backward? Why was Bholi called Bholi? Sulekha called Bholi, and why children used to make fun of her. These are the reason. ये आपको चीजें याद रखना है. She had fallen from the bed when she was 10 months old. Then when she was 2 years old, she was attacked by the disease called smallpox. It had disfigured her body, whole body, and there were pock marks. Entire her body was disfigured by deep black marks, and she was unable to speak till the age of 5. And when at last she started to speak, she started stammering. And that is why all the children used to make fun of us, and they started calling her Bholi. Is it clear, children? Did you understand this paragraph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, beta. Now let's see the next paragraph. Now you can see here the family of Bholi, father, and you can count the children. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Seven may say 4 are girls and 3 are boys. Okay. So this was a huge family of Ramlal. And Ramlal was a Nammaldar. Now see, Ramlal had 7 children, 3 sons and 4 daughters. And the youngest of them was Bholi. Youngest means the smallest of all was Bholi. Sabse choti thi Bholi. It was a prosperous farmer's household. Prosperous means very rich, well-to-do. It was a prosperous farmer's household. Ghar tha, rich farmer tha, Ramlal. And there was plenty to eat and drink. There was no dearth of money. There was plenty to eat and drink. Khane pine ki bahut chain thi. Everything was available at the home because he was very rich farmer, Ramlal. All the children. So that's why all the children except means उसके अलावा, किसको, भोली के अलावा, ऑल द चिल्ड्रन एक्सेप्ट भोली, दे वेर हेल्दी एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग, एवरीवन वाज हेल्दी एंड स्ट्रॉन्ग, ओनली एक्सेप्ट भोली, भोली मीन्स भोली के अलावा. The sons had been sent to the city to study in school and later in college. The sons, अब देखिए, this was a traditional family and naturally the importance were given to the sons. Sons को ज्यादा importance दिया गया था. So they had been sent to the city. उनको शहर भेज दिया गया काहे के लिए? To study in schools. And later they were sent in colleges also. Colleges में भेजा, school में भेजा, शहरों में. And what happened to the daughter of the daughters? जो daughters थी, 4 daughters, the Radha, the eldest, सबसे जो बड़ी थी, she had already been married. उसका शादी कर दिया. She had already been married. The second daughter Mangla, मंगला जो थी भोली की सिस्टर, मंगला's marriage had also been settled. उसका मंगला का मैरिज अरेंज हो गया था, तय हो गया था, एंड एक का शादी हो गया था राधा का. The Mangla's marriage had been settled. When that was done, और उसका जब हो गया, and when that was done, रामलाल, उसका जब शादी हो जाएगा मंगला का, then Ramlal would think of the third, Champa. He would think about the marriage of Champa. So it means that Ramlal was not interested in sending all these girls to the schools. He was not worried about their education because his mentality was that according to that time of prevailing custom, उस समय की जो customs थी, children, boys were sent to school and the girls were married as early as possible. So first Radha was already married, then second Mangla's marriage was arranged, and he was also thinking once he get married, उसकी शादी होने के बाद he would think about Champa के बारे में सोचेगा. They were good looking. All the girls were very beautiful, healthy girls, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them. Bridegroom क्या होता है? Male match जो होता है, दूल्हा जिसको कहते हैं वर, नवरदेव. So that is called bridegrooms. Okay, bride का अर्थ होता है दुल्हन, and bridegrooms का अर्थ होता है the match, male match जिसको बोलते हैं husband, जिसको बोलते हैं आपका boy, दूल्हा जिसको कहते हैं. Okay, and it was not difficult to find bridegrooms for them, for all Mangla, Radha and third one Champa. So they were beautiful. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. Ramlal, you can see, he was worried about Bholi. Why he was worried about Bholi? Because Bholi was not beautiful. She was not normal like others. She was not healthy. Okay, she could not speak properly. She stammered. He was worried about her. But Ramlal was worried about Bholi. She had neither good looks nor intelligence. She was not intelligent, not clever, and he was also not beautiful. Okay. Now let's see here. This person is, ये है तहसीलदार. Okay. Now let's see. Bholi was 7 years old when Mangla was married. Now Mangla, the third one, Mangla was married when Bholi was 7 years old. 7 साल की हो गई. The same year, a primary school for girls was opened in their village. And the same year, a primary school for girls was opened in their village. उस वक्त स्कूल नहीं था गर्ल्स के लिए. उसी साल प्राइमरी स्कूल उनके गांव में खुला. The Tehsildar Sahib came to perform its opening ceremony. So to perform the opening ceremony of the Bhumi Pujan Jala Manto, the Tehsildar Sahib, he came to perform the opening ceremony of the school. And when he came there, he said to Ramlal, what did he say? He said, as a revenue officer, revenue क्या होता है रे, जो कलेक्ट करता है, टैक्स कलेक्ट करते हैं, उसको ऑफिशियल कहते हैं, जो रामलाल था. As a revenue official, you are the representative of the government in the village. Representative, प्रतिनिधि जिसको कहते हैं मराठी में. You are the representative of the government. You are the government officer. You are the government servant. So what you should do, you should set an example. तुम्हें एक example set करना पड़ेगा लोगों के सामने. किस चीज का? So you must set an example to the villagers. You must send your daughters to school. Now you see, the people were not interested in sending their daughters to school. That's why there were no school for the girls also. And वो जो co-education वाले स्कूल थे, वहां पे तो भेजने की सोच भी नहीं सकते थे, where boys and girls together take the education. That kind of schools were there. But people were not sending their children, daughters to those schools. So separate schools for daughters, girls was opened. in Ramlal's village. Ramlal के गांव में separate school open हुआ था, लेकिन people were still not ready to send their daughters to school because they thought it was against their custom, against their tradition. Tradition के खिलाफ था. तो ये तहसीलदार उसको कहता है रामलाल को, सी रामलाल, you are the officer, government servant, you are the representative of government, people are not sending the daughters, their girls to the school, so you must send your daughters to school. तुम्हें अपने daughter, अभी दो ही बच्ची थी, चंपा बच्ची थी क्योंकि दोनों की शादी हो गई थी, चंपा और भोली. So he advised, you must set an example for the villagers. तुमने अगर भेजा था बाकी के लोग भी भेजेंगे. Okay, you must send your daughters to school. That night when Ramlal consulted his wife, that night when he talked, he told his wife, Ramlal told his wife what तहसीलदार had advised him. जो तहसीलदार ने बताया वही उसके wife को उसने बताया. That night when Ramlal consulted his wife, she cried. She was shocked. जब उसने कहा कि we will send our daughters to the school, she said, no. Are you crazy? Mad हो गए क्या, पागल? Are you foolish? If girls go to school, who will marry them? See the mentality of the people. It means that if the girls were sent to the school, nobody was ready to marry the girls also. That was the prevailing custom at that time. ऐसी custom थी. So she was worried. Mother was naturally worried. She will say, if we send our daughters, who will marry them? But Ramlal had not the courage to disobey the Tahsildar. But now Ramlal was in dilemma. Oh, na to he could neither say no to तहसीलदार and could nor send his both daughters to the school. ना तो अपने बच्चों को स्कूल भेज सकता था, लड़कियों को, and he had no courage to disobey the तहसीलदार. disobey भी नहीं कर सकता, उसकी जो सलाह थी उसको भी ना नहीं कह सकता था. So he was in dilemma, बड़ा मुसीबत में पड़ गया. Then at last his wife said, so they got the solution. Actually his wife got the solution. What solution she got? I will tell you what to do. Now we have the solution for the problem. She said, send Bholi to school. We will send Bholi to school. As it is, there is little chance of her getting married. Why should we get, why she was suggesting Ramlal to send Bholi to school? Because there was no chance of Bholi getting married. उसको पता था भोली की शादी हो ही नहीं सकती. तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा अगर उसको, if she is sent to the school. वैसे भी normally she is not going to get married. तो ना तो उसका शादी होने वाला है तो भेज देंगे उसको. Okay, as it is, there is little chance of her getting married. With her ugly face and lack of sense. Why she was not ready? Why was not there? Why there was no chance of her getting married? Because she was not beautiful. She had ugly face. Ugly face. Why ugly? She had ugly face because there was a deep marks on her face. And she lack of sense. Lack of sense means she was also not very clever. Clever bhi nahi hai, beautiful bhi nahi hai. Let the teachers at school worry about them. So let the teacher at school worry about teachers को उसके बारे में सोचने दो. Let the teachers worry about it. Teacher चिंता करेंगे उसके बारे में. Why should we worry about them? So इससे क्या होगा? The Tahsildar you will obey the Tahsildar. Tahsildar also will become happy that at least you have sent your daughter. And हमारा भी भोली से, चलो भोली तो शादी करने वाली नहीं, तो ये भी हमारा प्रॉब्लम भी will get solved. So this is why इस पे क्वेश्चन आता है, what was the purpose of Ramlal to send Bholi to school? एक क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है. So you have to write that Tahsildar had advised him to send Bholi to school to set an example for the villagers. Now when he told his wife was not ready, because according to the custom, if the girls were sent to school, it was difficult for them to get married. So because they knew that Bholi was neither beautiful nor clever, there was no chance of Bholi getting married. That's why they were ready to send Bholi to school. That is the answer. Is it clear, children? आप लोग सुन रहे हो सभी लोग?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now you see here the next stanza, next paragraph, important one. The next day, Ramlal caught Bholi by the hand and said, next day, Ramlal came and caught her hand. He held her hand, uska हाथ पकड़ा and said, उसको कहता है father, come with me, I will take you to school. Bholi, let's go to the school. Bholi was frightened. Bholi did not know what school was and how did it look like and what happens to school में क्या होता है. See, this was a new word for her. School क्या होता है. She did not know what the school was like. She remembered how a few days ago their old cow Lakshmi had been turned out of the house and sold. What did she remember? She remembered few days before what had happened. Her old cow जो थी, लक्ष्मी नाम की गाय थी उसकी, she had been turned out of the house, घर से भगा दिया था उसको, गाय को, and it was sold. उसको बेच दिया था गाय को. Why? Because the cow was old and it was useless for the family. Family के लिए useless थी. So she remembered and she thought that father was also sending her out of the house. घर से बाहर निकाल रहा है father. Because she understood that, she knew that, she realized that. उसको पता था कि she was very very neglected. उसको neglected है ये उसको जानता था. Neither father nor mother nor children were loving her. और ये सब उसको वो जानती थी उनके बिहेवियर के कारण. बिकॉज वो जो क्लोथ्स उसको मिलते थे, सी नेवर गॉट न्यू क्लोथ्स. ऑल द क्लोथ्स वेर गिवन टू हर विच वेर यूज्ड बाय हर सिस्टर्स के जो पुराने कपड़े उसको पहनाए जाते थे. फादर एंड मदर नेवर वरीड अबाउट हाउ सी लुक्स, वेदर सी टेक्स बाथ और वेदर हर हेयर वाज कॉम्ड और नॉट. उसके बारे में बिल्कुल अकेली पड़ी रहती. नोबडी वाज इवन बॉदर टू टॉक विथ हर. So जब फादर आया उसको and when he took her, held her hand and he told her let's go to the school, she was naturally frightened. वो डर गई because she thought that few days before she remembered her father had taken her cow, लक्ष्मी जो थी उसको लेके गया था और sold किया था, बेच दिया था. So that's why she was frightened and she said no 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 no. She said no. She shouted in terror, fear में वो डर जोर से चिल्ला no, and pulled her hand away from her father's grip. Pulled her, she freed her hand. उसने अपना हाथ छोड़ दिया. Freed her hand from her father's grip. Grip से मुझे clutches से उसके हाथ से छोड़ाया उसने हाथ. What is the matter with you, you fool? Shouted Ramlal. Ramlal was angry and he asked, what happened to you? Why are you behaving like this, you fool? Beokup, shouted Ramlal. I am only taking you to school. I am not sending you to house. I am not turning you out of the house. I am not selling you like a cow. Cow की जरा बेच नहीं रहा हूं मैं. I am only taking you to school. Then he told his wife, अपने wife को कहता है, let her wear some decent clothes. Decent means good, proper, ठीक ठाक. Let her wear some decent clothes today. आज उसको अच्छे कपड़े पहनाओ. Or else what will the teachers and the other school girls think of us when they see her? Now see, he is worried about his prestige. He is worried about his image. रामलाल अपने इमेज के बारे में, लोग क्या कहेंगे मेरे को. अब घर में कैसी है कोई देखता नहीं है, लेकिन स्कूल, व्हेन वी आर सेंडिंग हर टू स्कूल, हम स्कूल में भेज रहे हैं, सो सी मस्ट वेयर वेरी गुड क्लोथ्स, नाइस क्लोथ्स. अदरवाइज पीपल एंड द टीचर व्हाट विल दे से अबाउट अस, हमारे बारे में क्या सोचेंगे. ओके, घर में कोई नहीं देखता तो उसको कैसे भी रखो. दैट काइंड ऑफ मेंटेलिटी दे वेर हैविंग एट दैट टाइम. सो लेट्स सी नेक्स्ट व्हाट हैपेंस. Now here you can see pet. Here Bholi, and now the Bholi is see, she is getting ready for school. She is looking neat and clean, neat and tidy. See, her hair are properly combed. Here you can see the old before उसके कपड़े देख सकते हैं. They are torn clothes. Here she is wearing good clothes. She is wearing chappals here, and she is getting ready for the school. And see, this first time it had happened in her life. पहली बार ऐसा हुआ था. Some importance was given to her. See, new clothes had never been made for Bholi. New clothes were never made for Bholi. कभी उसके लिए नए कपड़े नहीं खरीदे गए थे. The old dresses of her sister were passed on to her. Used clothes were given to her to wear of her sisters. Okay. No one cared to mend or wash her clothes. No one cared to mend. Mend means repair. अगर they are torn clothes फटे हैं तो nobody cared to mend, repair those clothes or wash her clothes. But today she was lucky to receive a clean dress which had shrunk after many washings and no longer fitted Champa. Now today whose dress she got? She got the dress of Champa. This time it means that she did today also she did not get the new dress. अभी भी उसको नया ड्रेस नहीं मिला. But she got a decent dress, good dress which was clean and which had shrunk. Shrunk मतलब जो ये हो गया था, छोटा हो गया था. After many washing and no longer fitted Champa. Now that dress was not fitting with Champa. Champa को fit नहीं हो रहा था. So it was useless for Champa. So that dress was given to Bholi. She was even bathed. First time she was bathed. उसको नहला. She was made to bath and oil was rubbed into her dry and matted hair. Dry hair. Mother or anybody never cared about her hair. They never put oil. So today, first time, what had happened? The oil was put in her hair. And how was her hair? Matted hair. Matted. If they are not combed up, if you don't comb the hair, what will happen? Your hair will become entangled in each other. एक दूसरे में गुत्तात ना केस, त्याला म्हणतात matted hair. So first time her hair was properly combed, oil was rubbed, and a decent dress was given to her. She was bathed the first time in her life. Okay. Now, only then, when all these things was happening with her, she remained, she started believing. Usko pata lag gaya. Only then did she begin to believe that she was being taken to a place better than her home. First time when all these things happened, she realized, usko समझ में आ रहा कि she was being taken to a place, ऐसी जगह लेके जा रहे उसको, which is better than her home, जो घर से अच्छा हो, क्योंकि घर में उसकी तरफ कोई nobody was there to give her importance. So first time she realized, yes, I am going to some nice place which is better than the home. When they reached the school, जब वो स्कूल में पहुंचे, the children were already in their classroom. The school, that was a girls' school, actually, remember, Kanya Shala thi. And when they reached, already girls were sitting in the classroom, different girls from the village. Ramlal handed over his daughter to the headmistress. जो हेडमास्टर मिस्ट्रेस थी, मुख्याध्यापिका, रामलाल हैंडेड ओवर हिज डॉटर टू द हेड में. हैंडेड ओवर मींस दे दिया उसको. लेफ्ट अलोन. नाउ भोली वाज अलोन. फादर लेफ्ट होम. फादर वेंट अवे. द पुअर गर्ल look about her with fear laden eyes. Now there was a fear in her eyes. This was a new kind of atmosphere for her. Father was not there. No sisters were not there. Mother was not there. She was all alone among other people, among other girls, and unknown headmistress. New. So all these people are all this kind of atmosphere frightened her, and there was a fear in her eyes. So she looked around. उसने आजू बाजू में देखा. What did she see? उसने क्या देखा? There were several rooms. Many rooms were there. And in each room, girls like her squatted on mats. Girls were sitting on the mats like this. Okay. In each room. Then reading from books or writing on slates. They were reading, the girls in this classes, they were either reading from the books or they were writing on the slates. Slates आपको मालूम है, ये आप देख रहे pictures में. पाटी जाला म्हणतो आपण. They were writing on slates. The headmistress asked Bholi to sit down in a corner in one of the classroom. Then the headmistress came there and she told Bholi to sit down in the corner of one of the classroom. एक classroom के कोने में बैठने के लिए grand headmistress को कहा. And she sat down there in one of the corner. Okay, children, did you understand three paragraphs?
Yes, sir.
Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Very good, beta. So here हम यहाँ पे रुकेंगे and next part we will see tomorrow. Okay? Before that, आप लोग इसको एक बार अच्छी तरह से पढ़ना. रोशन है क्या? रोशन, आर यू देयर? कैप्टन है क्या हमारे सभी? कैप्टन कौन कौन था? रोशन था, अश्वत्य था. अश्वत्य है क्या रे?
येस सर.
अश्वत्य अटेंडन्स घे आणि याच्यामधलं काय कर, फक्त जे ऍबसेंट आहे त्याचे नाव मला पाठव. ओके अश्वत्य. आणि कोणता क्लास आहे तुझा?
10th बी.
10th बी. 10th याचं कोण घेत असते अटेंडन्स? रोशन नाही आहे आज बहुतेक. कोण घेईल मग? हरीश डोंगरे, तू बी मध्ये आहे का?
हा सर.
तू घेशील का आजचं अटेंडन्स?
ए क्लास वाल्यांचं का सर?
अश्वत्य याचं घेणार ना तू?
सर माझा बी आहे.
तुझं बी आहे. बरं ठीक आहे. हरीश आणि तुम्ही करा दोघा मिळून. तुम्ही तुझं अश्वत्य तू बीचं घे आणि मला वाटते हाय पण बी मध्येच आहे ना हरीश?
हो सर.
अच्छा, तुम्ही दोघांनी बीचं घ्या आणि एचं मग कोण घेईल याच्यामध्ये? स्वतःवरून सांगा. कार्तिक जोगदंड तू कुठल्या ए मध्ये आहे का?
नाही सर बी मध्ये.
बी मध्ये आहे. ठीक आहे. आणि प्रथमेश आरू, प्रथमेश प्रथमेश
येस सर.
बी मध्ये आहे ना?
ए मध्ये सर.
तू पण बी मध्येच आहे का? अच्छा, एक मिनिट. मग कोण आहे बी मध्ये?
प्रथमेश ए मध्ये.
प्रथमेश आहे ना? प्रथमेश
ए मध्ये